Yeah. Let's do it. If you know you got favor on your life, sing it.
I love the favor of God is all over me.
Yeah.
I love
Got it.
the favor of God is all over me. I love the favor of God is all over me. I love
Favor.
the favor of God is all over me.
And I ain't even asked for this, y'all.
And it ain't my fault.
Hey. Yeah. Why you mad at me?
And it ain't my fault.
I want to do that again, A-Ron. Say, I got it. Yeah.
I love
Favor.
the favor of God is all over me. And I love the favor of God is all over
I
me.
got it.
I
love it.
love
You love it?
the favor of God is all over me. And I love
God gave it to me. It's all over me. And it ain't even my fault.
and it ain't my fault.
Hey. Yeah. You know favors on your life. Say,
And it ain't my fault.
favor ain't fun, but it surely is fun. Say, it ain't
And it ain't my fault.
my fault. It's like favor be stalking me, y'all.
And it ain't my fault.
Listen, we got a verse. It says this. Say, God gave it to me.
God gave it to me. His favor never stops following me.
He's got his hand on me.
Got his hand on me. That's why no weapon formed against me shall
We ain't giving up.
We ain't never giving up.
We keep it moving.
Even when it comes to strength us.
And I know that it shows everywhere.
Everywhere that I go.
Say, I got it.
And I love
Yeah.
it's all over me. I got it. And I love
The favor.
it's all over me. I got it. And I love it. The favor of God is all over me. I got it. And I love it. The favor of God is all over me.
I need you to say it.
Good morning, Dr. J.
Good morning, Gary. How are you?
I am well and I'm excited. It's Financial Literacy Month.
Yes.
We're getting ready to be educated.
Yes. I'm excited about that as well. Good morning, Amanda. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I know she is excited. Amanda's excited this morning because she gets to see her oldest son.
All right, now.
Bryant's getting ready to fly out this evening.
Okay.
Back to Florida he goes, the Sunshine State.
Yeah.
Good morning, Oreo.
Good morning, Tia.
Good morning, Tia.
And good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Kevin.
And Oreo says good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Oreo. So yeah, Bryant is getting ready to head out here this evening and getting ready to go back down to the Sunshine State. So
All
Dr.
right.
J,
Yes.
you know it's Financial Literacy Month.
Yes.
We want to make sure we're going to bring him, Caleb, on right at 10:15.
Okay.
So we can go ahead and get started. But I got to ask you, how was your week?
Gary, I know you saw my rant.
Yes, Dr.
And
J.
the saga at Meridian South apartment complex continues. It was crazy. I mean, it was okay until Thursday. And but you know, it's I guess it's okay. You know, I posted on Facebook this morning that when God has something else for us to do, and sometimes we're not listening to him, he will make us very uncomfortable in our current situation so that we will make some moves. And I think that that's what is happening with me now, that I've been here 9 years. The last 2 years have been crazy. But in that, I believe God is making me so uncomfortable that he's telling me to go. He's telling me that, I need to find something else, that if I'm going to trust him, I need to trust him. He's brought me this far, and so that's what I'm going to do, because I'm very uncomfortable. They put in a portable air conditioning unit, and I'm not real comfortable with that. I don't feel as safe with that because of the way that it was put in. But I'm going today to look at 2 apartments, and so um, get this ball rolling, because it this week I was so upset when I took my blood pressure, because my head started hurting, like pulsating. My blood pressure was up to like 190 something over 105.
Dr. J.
And and I'm thinking to myself, you know what, if I do something that kill me, that's on me, but I'm not going to allow anybody else. So that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. When my daughter had to get up out of her bed because she had been up almost all night, because my granddaughter flew to my youngest granddaughter went to go see her dad for the summer, and then my oldest granddaughter, they had to take her to the hospital. So yeah, so it's causing too much going on, and including too many people in my life, so that was my week.
Yes, yes. But you need to watch your health. Don't let that apartment complex stress you out.
Yeah,
That's nothing but the work of the enemy.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know who that is. But my week was super good.
Fantastic, huh? That's good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm gonna say congratulations to my oldest son, KJ Christian. He graduated high school this past Friday.
All
So
right,
congratulations to
congratulations,
him, and
Christian.
welcome
Yeah,
to adulthood, where it really starts.
yeah,
It really starts.
pretty much.
Brian's flying out. He'll be a freshman coming in. So I got 4 more years, Dr. J. 4 more years, and I'll be in Florida, Dr. J. 4 more years.
Well, no, because you
I'm,
have 2 more.
nope. Aaliyah graduates with Bryant. So Aaliyah and Bryant's in the same grade. So they graduate in 4 years.
Okay.
We promised them that we will not move until they
Till after they
graduate,
graduate. Yeah.
so they can go to the same school.
Yeah.
So I told them it's okay. I can hang with this 4 years. In 4 years, I will be 50. I will be 50, and the U-Haul truck will be at your
sitting out in front of the
graduation.
house.
We'll be at your graduation. As soon as they hand you your diploma, and we take a
That's
couple
good.
pictures, we out. We out.
That's
I can't
awesome.
do this cold weather no more. I know the
Yeah.
next 4 years, the devil is getting ready to mess with me like something fierce. So I'm already preparing myself. And, I got my boat now.
Yeah.
So me and Brian been working on the boat, taking off some stickers. We're getting ready to rename her. So we had to do some work on it.
What's the new
But
name gonna be? Do you know?
I will release that next week.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes, I will release it next week. There's 2 names that has been in my spirit, so I believe I will have the final one this week.
Okay.
But I'm excited, Dr. J. I can't wait to get you down there and come hang with us in 4 years.
Oh yeah. Let's see. In 4 years, I'll be 68. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, Mom and Kevin will do they'll follow us down, because I'm not coming
Okay.
back to snow. I come back when the
I don't
spring is
blame
coming.
you. I
I
don't
come
blame.
back and visit.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
blame. My daughter is actually looking to. She wants to relocate, and she wants to relocate. Where it's warmer. And she's like, "Ma, you coming with me?" I'm like, "Okay." So, so I'll be at someplace retired, where it's warm, because I'm really, 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 really tired of the cold myself. It's
Yep.
taking its toll on me, and I can tell. So,
and depending on how Bryant, where we are with Bryant and with the computer guy, if he's going to take, but the computer guy, as in myself, is not following me down to Florida.
Okay.
I've already spoken. I talked to my wife, which is not on. She needs to wake up. She is on vacation. She is down in sunny GA.
She's where?
She's down in sunny GA.
Oh,
She's at
okay.
Tybee Island down in Georgia, enjoying the
right
beach,
now.
the water.
Kevin said, "Where are we going?"
Kevin said, "We're going." All right, Kevin, 4 years. You got 4 years. We've already been looking at condos.
No, he said, "Where are we going?"
Oh, where are we going? Where are we going? We're going to Florida, somewhere on the water. But at the age of 50, the computer guy, myself, it will be fully retired at the age of 50. Will not follow me down to.
Okay.
Florida.
Excuse me for this
But-
cough, and I'm convinced it's not a cold. I've already had COVID, so it's not COVID. I think it's the allergies because it's triggering my asthma really bad, and I can't get rid of
Dr.
this
J,
cough.
it's the after effects of COVID. I've been coughing,
Yeah.
choking, hacking ever since
Yeah.
the wedding when I really got it. So yeah,
Well,
it's
I'm
just
going-
after
I'm-
effects.
Yeah, I'm actually going to the doctor next week to get some things taken care of because this is crazy.
Well, let me know what they say because you know
I
me,
will.
I'm not going to no doctor unless I'm laying on the ground.
I know.
Unless I'm laying on the ground. I'm just waiting on Caleb to jump back here. But up there he is. We're getting ready to bring Caleb on. Everybody, please go out and share right now. We got 3 minutes. Just give them, send them over to elevatelife.tv, LYFE. This is Financial Literacy Month. We got 3 outstanding weeks of just talking about financials and investing and home buying and checking and savings and what else we going to talk about?
Real estate.
Real estate.
Okay.
Yes. So this is Caleb Keys. He's on the bottom of the screen. He is going to be our presenter for today. Niles had a prior engagement. So he'll be back with us hopefully next week.
Next week.
Yep. And we're gonna it's all I'm gonna turn it over to you, Caleb.
Hey.
Before you do, Gary, can I mute myself because of the coughing and then I can unmute when I need to say something?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Sounds good.
Hey Caleb, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Everybody doing all right this morning?
Everybody's doing great. I'm gonna mute myself, but I'll be listening.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Feel free to jump in, anybody. Ask questions. Today is just an informative day. I definitely want to get this information out to you guys. This is a very critical time because the stock market is low and it is time to get in. I will first like to start off saying that this presentation is for general information purposes and is not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any securities or investment product. It is only to intend to provide education about investing and financial literacy. So please don't sue me, you guys. I know you guys see that cup on there. I'm just going to offer my personal opinion and my personal advice and what I've experienced inside of the stock market or just in general in investing overall. But today we're specifically going to talk about the stock market, the different type of investing that you can be doing and learning about the compound interest overall, how to build that investment account by starting off with pennies or starting off with $20 a week and just teaching you guys about the compounding process. And so next we'll go to the next slide. Here's a breakdown of everything that we will be talking about today. Basic information about stock, owning different stock, different type of investments, why you should start investing now. The younger that you are, that you start investing, the better that result and the more compound. You're going to hear that a lot through this presentation, that a lot more compound interest that it can attach to your investment. So different type of brokerage accounts, general investing principles, and then we'll have a short breakout session if questions and answers, and then I will talk about the different trading apps that there are. Okay, so I know you guys probably heard about Robinhood, probably heard about Fidelity and Scott Trade when I first.
He froze, so we'll see if he jumps back in. But this is what I want to say. If anybody has any questions, please just type them in the chat box when going through this presentation, and we'll get your questions on the screen. Let me text him, Dr. J, real quick, just to make sure.
I unmuted. I'm here.
So yeah, I just texted him.
Okay.
So he nope, there he is.
Okay.
We can't hear you, Caleb. No, we can't hear you still. Nope. Log all the way off and jump back in. So, gotta love technology, Dr. J.
Well, I do.
Gotta love technology.
I don't understand it, but yeah, I do. I definitely do. So
There he is.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now, sir.
Sorry about that, man. My iPad got too hot, so I think I'm gonna have to move into the house. It got too hot, unfortunately, and just cut off. It says your iPad. So basically, sorry about this, you guys. So basically, there's different type of investments. That's what we're going to talk about today. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I've never had that happen. You guys here? Sorry about that.
yes,
I thought
can
I
hear
was
you.
going to be safe. Be able to have it out there. All right. Hey. All right. Sorry about that. I think we're good to go. 1 second. There we are. Sorry about that, you guys. And so, back on this slide, basic. So yeah, we'll just be talking about some questions and answers. Soon as we get done with the actual presentation, and you guys could just ask me anything that you would like. So we'll advance to the next slide, and we'll start off by talking about the basics of common stock. So you have inside of the stock market, there's different type of ownerships that you can have. So we'll talk about the different and what they do for you as far as inside of the stock market and what they pay you out. You have dividends that you can possibly get paid. You can have actual ownership. You have stock splits. For example, we'll talk about AMC a little bit later and what they did and how you saw an influx on that stock specifically, and why the reason why it's dropped back down so drastically. So shares of ownership of a corporation, when you're buying stock, you're buying a piece of that actual company. So you're saying the company goes out and what they do is go public. And so when they're going public, they're basically offering pieces and shares of these small little pieces and shares of their company, saying you can buy a piece If you believe in our culture, their goals, their alignment, this is a big thing when choosing a stock. So the second thing is let stockholders vote on the corporate issues such as the board of directors and accepting taking over bids. And so what that means is you're actually, for example, I have a stock that they sent me something in the mail. They asked, hey, we have an issue that's going on inside of the corporation. Here, you actually have a voting right to say what is going on inside of this corporation if you own enough shares. Some companies also do still send you information to vote on certain events if that is needed be, even if you don't own a lot of shares. So another thing is allow for ownership of a portion of a company without taking possession. So I don't have to buy this whole company. I don't have to buy this whole company. I can just go ahead and say, I just want to take a piece. I just want to buy a piece of this company. I believe that you guys are going to grow exponentially. And what I want to do is I want to buy at a low price now so I can see the high reward later. So many corporations also give stockholder dividends, which I was speaking about earlier. So when a corporation is doing good or doing bad, they have four different things that they have to do. Each and every quarter, they have to create a financial statement and give it out to the people who have purchased stock. So if you purchase stock in January 2021, in March 2021, that company is going to send you a statement saying, here are our quarterly earnings. Some companies have a different dividend paying rate. That means a payment based off of their quarterly earnings that they're going to give you. So this is a very key point when you're trying to find those stocks that you want to invest in. You definitely want to find a dividend paying stock that is going to pay you money even though that you own the stock. So this isn't money that you got to reinvest in. This is money that they are just paying you based off of the percentage of stock that you own. So we'll go ahead into the next slide and we'll talk about what is the stock market? What is owning a stock? How can you make money as a shareholder? Things to consider when buying a stock. So where individual and institutional investors come together to buy and sell shares. This is what the stock market actually is. So owning a stock is buying a fraction of a company. This may include those dividends that I was talking about, and also those voting rights that happen if you own either a portion, a heavy portion, or if you don't own a heavy portion. Every vote counts inside of these bigger companies because they have over 500-600 employees that they can't just go and ask, so they'll rather ask the people that are buying into their company. So how can you make money as a shareholder? You get these cash dividends that are paid back to you because you own this stock. You have your stock dividends that are paid back to you because you own the stock. And then you have appreciation and the value of a dollar that increases because you own that stock. And so let's talk a little bit about the appreciation part. When you stick your money into some investments, they automatically have that compounding interest that I was talking about earlier. So with the compounding interest, we are making sure that each point in time is adding little by little interest and it's appreciating due to the influx of inflation. So with inflation goes the value of the dollar as well as when it's compounding interest. So we'll talk a little bit more about mutual funds and the impact of mutual funds in appreciation and how appreciation attaches to it. And so we'll talk a little bit about that later. But things to consider when you're buying a stock. Know that the company does, company financials, the market cap, and that may mean the actual individuals that are in there, how many shares that they have, are they splitting their shares, what do they want, the competitors that are fighting, I guess almost fighting against the company, what are their competitors? You have Nike, you have Adidas, you have Under Armour. These are all competitors, but you can monetize. You know, if one comes out with this hip new shoe, you can basically look at the other ones to come out to bring out a hip new shoe as well. And so that's when you'll see the influx of the market. So, say for example, Nike brings out a brand new shoe, and they've been talking about this brand new shoe for a couple of months. What's that going to do if Nike stock price is right here and they just keep talking about it? What's going to happen? It's going to influx, and then when these other companies are preparing to launch, you can get in because you know that they're coming out with something big. News, I will say, is the biggest influx of the stock market. This makes the stock market move, but we will talk about that a little bit later in the presentation. So different type of investments. We'll go to the next slide. Different type of investments. You have mutual funds, ETFs. So mutual funds are a conglomerate of accounts that are different type of stocks. So for example, a mutual fund, it might have Apple in there. It's a diverse portfolio. So for an individual that's getting into investing, you don't really know what or who or how or what to invest in. And so with that being said, this is the reason why mutual funds are created. Mutual funds are a conglomerate of actual different companies that are put together inside of one fund, and you're diversing your portfolio in between them. So what that means is basically I might have technology in here, I might have medical in here, I might have auto mechanics or auto companies that are doing well. And so all of these are inside of a fund, and that compounds interest as well when you buy the fund. It's a set, I guess not a set amount, it varies for the fund that you want, and you can basically look at the fund and see the type of companies that are inside of it. So for example, I have a Blackwell fund for myself that I'm invested in, and basically it has Apple, it has Amazon, it has Samsung, it has all of the top companies but it's a very diverse portfolio. And that's what you have to believe in, those different companies when you're buying their stock. So you have bonds. These are they can be government bonds, they can be company bonds. These are ways that companies raise money. So basically they go around and saying, "Hey, do you want to buy a piece of my company at a fixed rate?" So we'll say that the company is worth this much this day, and then in 10, 20 years is when you see the influx of cash, specifically from those bonds or from anything that you purchase that is in a bond type of setting. So you have commodities, you have your gold, you have your agriculture, you have your oil. You can actually, these are the best type of things to buy because you want to know something? They are never going anywhere. They're never going anywhere. So with the commodities, they're tangible. You can actually touch them, you can feel them, and you know that, for example, right now, if you would have bought oil, as we can see, is a major big thing right now because as we look at the gas prices right now as a whole, you have to see that if you bought oil probably about a year ago, you will see that the stock price of oil has went through the roof. So you can buy these type of things. Actually, you can literally go onto the stock market, either Scottrade or Fidelity, but you do have to go to a bigger platform to purchase these commodities. So you have, for last but not least, this is the future, and it's called cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies, I know you guys been talking about it or been seeing it a lot. So cryptocurrencies are those things like Bitcoin. You have a bunch of different coins that are out right now, but the reason why cryptocurrencies are so important is because they are the next wave. If you pay attention to the corn shortage, If you pay attention to the signs when you go into stores saying that there's a shortage on coin, which is a commodity, yet again, you can buy, and these are tangible, and we're having a shortage on it. What happens at that point is that now we don't have a coin. And what's going to happen is these different coins are going to be used for different type of stores, different type of activities. This is what they're trying to do and what they're trying to make cryptocurrency into. You can go ahead, the barriers to entry are very low, but with cryptocurrency, you have to actually do your research on the coin, how it's evaluating, how it's moving, because it is a very volatile and it's not federally regulated. So if you lose your money, you can't really sue nobody. But I remember Gary said that he was on the show talking about Dogecoin. For you people that did buy Dogecoin is going to be, can't 100% quote me, don't sue me now. It is going to be the best coin, I feel like, to impact our future, because so many of the bigger companies and big investors are taking it and are acquiring the coin. That should tell you right then and there that it's going to be used at some point in time. If these bigger companies are starting to accept it, that should tell you what is going to happen in the next, it might not be tomorrow, but in the next 10 years, where this dollar, the US dollar, everything's going to be depleted because stuff is going to be scarce. Well, there's a bunch that goes into it, but that's my own opinion. But definitely, if you are, buy it for your kids. What's $100? What's $20 to buy it for your kids now? And it's something that your kids would be into. This is something that when they get 20, 30, 40 years old, that this is going to be a big thing. And so, just talking a little bit about that, cryptocurrencies, we'll talk about it a little bit later. So we'll move on to the next slide, that talks about what I was saying about the diversified portfolio. Does anybody have any questions at this point? Okay. So example of a diversified portfolio. So you
Caleb.
have, as you can see on the screen, you have stocks.
Hey, Caleb. Hold on. Dr. J has a question.
Yeah, I have a question.
Go
So
ahead.
with all of this that you're talking about and the information, I guess one of the things in my head, and sometimes my head is all messed up, is there ever at a point that you're too old to do that? Because I think, for me, yes, I've bought some of the Doge coins that Gary was, talking about or whatever. But are you ever at an age to where you're too old to, I guess, say to really reap the benefits of investing, especially now? And I'll use me as an example. I'll be 62 this year. So I was not privy or informed growing up, which not a lot of us were not, about all of this new stuff that's coming up. So now at the age of almost 62, is it too late?
Man, it's never too late, Dr. J.
Well, I just want
Dr. J, it's never too late. You can always get in where you fit in. You hear me? Okay. Now I'll tell you first. Go ahead, Gary.
You go ahead, Caleb. Go ahead.
So, a lot of people, for example, I tell my mom, and I'm the entrepreneur in the family, and I'm the one that's always taking risks and starting businesses and stuff like that. And so I had to tell my mom, with the Dogecoin, I'm telling her, when I first got in, I had already had Dogecoin, right? But when it started coming back up, I'm like, I need to buy more because shoot, it's going to go back, it's going up. And so I'm telling her, I'm like, look, Mom, put $1,000 into Dogecoin right now. And she's like, nah. I mean, I'm older, So I can't, just put out $1,000 and expect it to win or lose. So what I will say when you're a little bit older is that start small. Start as in you pay $20 to go out to eat. You pay $15 to go, anywhere that you want to, or go and do something. So why can't you invest in yourself and put that $15 in there? Put that
Well,
$10 in
I
there a
did.
week
Yeah, I
because you
did.
spend
Was
it.
it 25? I think
And
in
I
the Dogecoin.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
$25.
okay.
and I
And my
want to
mom did the same thing, and I got her $200.
yeah. It's
Go ahead.
and
Go ahead,
I
Gary.
want to say this, Dr. J. Um, we as black people have to stop um, thinking that we're too old to do anything. What we have to
Yes,
do is
sir.
we got to get to a point in our to a point in our lives that we have to break this generational curse. And that
That's what it
generational
is.
curse is you have lived in middle class.
The
Your kids have
generational
lived in
curse.
middle class. Your your grandkids have lived in class. Your
Middle
great
class.
grandkids have to be in middle class. We have to break this generational curse. So just
Yep.
because we don't get to reap the benefit when we are alive, we have to
Yep.
invest for our kids, and then they
You
and take
gotta
that
break it.
money, invest it, and keep it invested. And that's how we get from that middle class, and then we can get to that higher class. We got to break that mindset. And I know Caleb's going to touch on it. But we can go out and go buy $300 a pair of Jordans. We can go
You can
buy a
go
three
buy
hundred
that
dollar pair of
300
Jordans.
pair of Jordans.
I'd
You
rather
hear me?
go buy a $60 pair of Nikes, take that other $240 and invest it into something that I know that is going to benefit me or my wife or my kids or their
my
kids.
what? Or my kids.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
that was a great question, Dr. J, because I know, that's us. And let's just be
Boy,
truthful about it.
everybody. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's definitely right, man. I think, you hit it right on the head, Dr. J. A lot of people believe that you're older, that you can't invest. I'm starting this courier business, and one of my friends' uncle is like 50 years old. And this is what our young generation has to do is start to listen to wisdom. He was telling me, man, I'm 50. I don't have a retirement. I don't have this, set up. And so you have to, and you got kids. So what are you leaving behind? Us as, our, like, what did you call it last week? Lay people. As our people, we have to understand that it's not just about living for today, it's living for tomorrow. And that's my biggest thing is that you have to plan for the unexpected. You have to put up money because your kids, you don't want them to struggle or have to go through what you had to go through. And so I think investing, even if you're at 60, 70 years old, if you can put up $2, $3 today, that $2, $3 are going to be worth $10 to your kids tomorrow. So whatever you do helps, and whatever you leave behind helps. So start now. If you are those of these viewers that are out there a little bit older, start now. You can start now. And if you're buying stuff for your kids, depending on how old your kid is, buy them $10, $20 of crypto a week. $10, $20 of Amazon. We know Amazon's not going nowhere. $10, $20 of Nike. We know Nike's not going nowhere. These bigger companies you can invest in and they will pay out. They will go ahead. And so as you can see on the actual portfolio, there's many different type of ways to actually invest. You might, Dr. J, right now, I've been buying up lots inside of Indianapolis over there on the Martin Luther King area. One of those lots might be $5,000, $10,000 today. today. It's a savings account. But tomorrow, when they drop that 100 million on there, when they drop that 100 million, what you think that's gonna be? What you think them lots gonna be going for? So this is what we gotta say. And real estate is on that portfolio. And that's an example of you can still buy stuff and do it while you're old. You can go buy a piece of land and let it sit. And by the time you roll over, you can go ahead and pass it. You can pass it right on down. But see, here's the problem. When we do get land, our folks don't know how to keep it, maintain it, and hold on to it. They'll be like, let's go ahead and sell it. Mama done died. So let's go ahead and sell it, man. We don't want to deal with the hassle. I don't want to cut the grass. I don't want to pay the taxes that are only $400 or $500. Then they lose a house. This is an asset that's been inside their company. I mean, inside their family for 20 years, 30 years, and y'all just let it go. But we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. So we'll move on to the next slide, and we'll talk about the different type of accounts. So the different type of accounts, you have a taxable brokerage account. That's an IRA, or you have the 401ks, anything that when you're putting in something, they tax it right now so you don't get taxed later. You pay the taxes on it now so you don't get taxed later. You have joint brokerage accounts. You have individual retirement accounts. I've been having an IRA since I was 20 years old. And you want to know why? Somebody told me if you put $2,000 in there from the age 20 until you're 65, you'll be a millionaire. So I'm going to be a millionaire regardless at the age of 65 because I've been putting $2,000 into it. And what happens is you have the compounded interest. Of course, you want to raise it up. You can put up until $5,000 into it per year. But if you start off at the minimum, putting $2,000 in there, by the time you're 65, that compounded growth and the inflation in the market, you're able to reach that goal. So if you guys are old, now this is a different type. If you're older and you're trying to invest, the IRAs might be a little bit late if you're like 65, because they're already ready to be released back to you. So those kind of things, it is a little bit late. But if you're 50, still go get IRA. Still put that money in there and still do it. So you have the custodial account. Those are for your kids or any of those. You have money market accounts. You have things that you can do and put up for your kids. So for example, if in our community, if we go ahead and say, soon as your kid is born, you go and start them a custodial account with or any type of mutual fund, your kid will have over $1 million by the time they're 65. You start it now, they'll have over $50,000 when they're 18. And so you're not paying the bill. You can send them right to college. You can be like, go buy that new car. You can be like, we've been saving up for you this whole time, so I don't have to personally come out of my pocket. And on top of that, that money is being compounded. As we can say earlier, I told you that this word is going to come up a lot. And so for your kid, if you start them off at 1 month old and put in $10, $20 a week, let's do that math. $20 a week, 52 weeks, that's over $1,000 a year, right? That's over $1,000 a year. That's 18 years, right? We'll just say 18 years up until they're 18. They have 18 grand, right? Now, we're not even saying compound interest. We're not even saying the interest. So say we, every single year we yielding 20, about 20%. Look at that influx and what that looks like. And so that's why a lot of people Of the other races, let's put it like that, of the other races, why they go out and they do this at an early age, because they know that it's going to save them later. So we'll go ahead and move to that next slide. Why should you start investing now? The real reason why you should start investing now is because the market right now is at a low. So when you go in, a lot of these stocks are lower. You can buy them. They're going to rebound back up. And so when you think about the different types of investing, you think about different type of opportunities you can open yourself up to. When you're also investing, you want to actually pay attention to the news, and because that dictates everything to a T. So, for example, when I first got into the stock market, and when I first got in, I was in college, and one of my buddies was like, I was in the Kelley School of Business, and so I learned about stocks and stuff like that. And so I was told, inside of class, like, hey, if you want to pick up a stock, make sure you read the newspaper every day. So I was reading the Wall Street Journal every single day, and then this news came out that Warren Buffett was about to acquire 3 different companies. And Warren Buffett, if he puts his name on something, then it's going. And so at that point, I said, Warren Buffett? Oh, yeah, let me go and check in. So I went to go check, did all the company research, looked up what the companies are. It was a medical company. It was all actually medical companies. And one was an actual medical tech company that was coming out. And so you see that when he said that he was going to buy the stock price of that stock went out the roof. Why? Because Warren Buffett is Warren Buffett. And so this is the indicators how you can get in without getting in with a lot of knowledge. Do your research, do the research on the company, and see if their values align with you. And so we'll go ahead and head to the next slide. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but this next slide is what it's all about. This next slide is what it's all about. Compounding interest. Remember, I said compounding was going to pop up through this whole thing. So compounding interest, and why does it pay to wait? So when you're getting in, as you can see, at age 21, he only invested 24,000 from the age of 21 to 41. When you did that and you just did a regular investment, as you can see on the regular line, that only goes, if you don't, and it only goes up to 59,000 if you keep it in a regular interest-bearing account. But if you put it into a mutual fund, you see the influx, right? And why you should keep that money in there. So from the age of 21, we can see to 41 how much it went up to. Now, these are inside of these mutual fund accounts or IRAs. This is where you see this. You're not going to see this on your average investment, on your average stock. Okay. So for you guys that want to get in or have not set up a retirement account, here is the proof in the pudding. Here's the proof in the pudding. And this is the minimum that people are putting in. I think they're only putting in on the example, $2,000, $2,000, $2,000, yep, yep, $2,000. So do that, and say if I put in $3,000 a year, $4,000 a year, but you do have a limit. You have a limit at $5,000. So the total accumulation that you've built, this money makes money on itself. So this compounding interest is very key when you're investing inside of a mutual fund or IRA. This is what happens to your money. It compounds as it sits in there. It gets paid because of inflation, and certain type of accounts that we'll talk a little bit later have the different type of additives and tax breaks on there as well. So I would like to, so let's go ahead and we'll finish off. Go ahead and go to the next slide, Mr. Gary. And we'll finish off, and I will leave you guys with this. Here are the general investing principles that you guys should always keep in your back pocket when you're doing the stock market. You should establish a financial base plan on your goal. So you can say, hey, I want to make, X amount of dollars by the end of the year or X amount of dollars by the end of the week. Start saving and invest today. Start saving. Saving will always help you out. There's different and many different ways right now. I've seen myself and how saving has helped me because I've invested in these different type of investments. I'm able to pull out right now as I'm starting this business and put the cash up and the cash flow for my business. So this is where investing will help you build a diversified portfolio. So, and based on your tolerance for risk. So don't just go out there and buy these high amount stocks. For me, when I first got into the actual stock market, I didn't go and buy your Apples. I didn't go buy your Google. You want to know why? Because I wanted to figure out how to get in for the cheapest amount. And that's what cryptocurrency is doing right now before your eyes. They're letting people get into the market before this stuff blows up, and they're letting you buy for pennies on the dollar. Not even pennies. It's eighths of a pennies and halves of a pennies and 3/4 of a penny. So this is a way to get in something now, and if it blows, it blows. You put in $20 on an eighth of a penny, and it goes to a penny. Do you know how much money you just made? This is what we got to get people to understand. Minimize fees and taxes. So, like I was saying with the IRA account, there's two different type of accounts. You have the Roth IRA, and then you have your traditional IRA. The Roth IRA go ahead and takes you to a higher level, right? So with the Roth IRA, they take out the taxes now, so you don't have to pay a big tax bill later. The traditional IRA, however, you pay that fat tax bill when you take that money out of that 401k or that IRA. So, and then rebalance your portfolio regularly, and then ignore the noise. Pay attention to the news and ignore the noise. And so that's, for me, that's the investing principles that we have for today. And that if anybody has any questions, let me know. Feel free. Let's get on.
Oh, well, I do want to make this statement, Caleb. Let me get the share screen off. There we go. One is never too late. Two is the earlier we do this as a child. So if you get your son or daughter started early, or you start investing into your child, your son or daughter at a very young age, that's where
Tell them, Gary.
that's where you can break that generational curse. When they say the rich gets richer, it's because they start at a very young age. A couple things I know Caleb's going to talk about is life insurance. My kids know, and my wife knows what my life insurance amount is. Actually, one of my kids they already tried to kill me and collect the money. So, they're like, when are you going to die, Dad? But there's enough there that if they invest that life insurance money, they'll never have to work another day in their life. And that's what we have to do. There's things that you can invest, there's short-term investments that you can do while you're here on earth and enjoying life. And then there's long-term investments that you want that to pass down to generation to generations to generations to generations. So then maybe, 5 grandkids down, there's a multi-million-dollar business multi-million-dollar business in your family because you started that generation. Caleb, I want to say great job. Man, you was sitting up here talking. I'm up here buying more Doge coins. I just bought another $100 worth. That's what I was doing.
Buy,
I was calculating.
buy it right now. It's coming.
So I just bought another $100 worth of Dogecoins as we speak. But you know, there's just more than Dogecoins. There's more than cryptocurrency. I do know, you know, there's a Roth IRA, and we're going to be talking about it all and throughout. This is something that's very dear to my heart, because I'm tired of seeing us struggle. I'm tired of us seeing us live paycheck to paycheck. I'm tired of seeing us saying I can't take a vacation because I don't have no money. I'm tired of us sitting there walking up and down the street because you don't know how to save money to buy a car, or you got bad credit. This is the reason why I'm very passionate at what I want to do. You know, Dr. J, me and Dr. J had some conversations. And I know where Dr. J's heart is. I know where Dr. J wants to get to. But the only thing I can do is I can hold her hand and walk her there. I can't force her. I can't push her. I only can hold her hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when God says it's time, it's time.
It's time.
It'll be time for.
Yes.
You know, wonderful.
Can I add something in right quick, Gary?
Mm-hmm.
Before we leave up out of here, when you invest, this is a very, very key point. When you invest, there are 3 different types of investors. You have your day trader. That's an investor that monetizes every single second. He gets paid off of the little dips and the little highs. He's actually sitting there at his computer. That's the stuff that you see on the movies, right? Then you have your actual investor that does. You have your swing trader. That's the person that just leaves it in there, doesn't care about it, and just waits on the company to grow. You know what I'm saying? So then you have your third one that monetizes it but doesn't really look at it. When you are investing, you do not want to keep looking at it like, oh, the money's going down. I know, Gary, you were talking about this and you were saying that when the money goes down, that does not mean you're just about to lose all of your money. Do not go crazy and pull out the money on your first sight. Please do not, because you will lose more money than you will gain. 9 times out of 10, that stock is going to go back up, because what happens is so we'll talk about this a little bit later. If anybody wants to know more about investing, I'll talk to you guys more about it. But these are these things that are identifiers, and they're called candlesticks. You can identify if it goes drastically down 3 times, that is going to influx after that third bounce. So it might go down a drastic amount, go down again, and then go down again for 3 times. If you see that inside of the actual chart, understand that market, the market has to retrace and rebalance. So that's just people basically taking out their money, you know. So you guys definitely do not want to just get in and get out, and you can make your money. But another piece of advice: if you're going to invest, find penny stocks. Don't go out here buying the $50, $60 stocks and think you're gonna make some money. Buy penny stocks. That means stocks that are $1 to $5.
Yeah.
Don't go out here buying the $50, $60 unless you have the cash flow. Unless you just want to let that money sit in there and do what it do. But if you're buying penny stocks, those are the ones that you can get in. You can buy thousands of shares for nothing. And then if it goes up by 10, 20 cents, you've made a decent amount of profit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Caleb. We got to get out of here.
You, Caleb.
Me and Caleb, Caleb, I will contact you here with this week. We always touch bases. I thank you again for all that information. Okay. All I'm going to say to all my Doge people, stick and stay. It's going to go up. Stick and stay. Don't get scared. Dr. J, if you could pray us out, I thank you for showing your lovely, smiling, beautiful face today. And I hope it helped you, Dr. J. But if you can play us out, I appreciate it.
Yes. Father God, it's once again we come to you, thanking you and praising you for another day. Oh God, we thank you for Caleb. We thank you for his life. We thank you, oh God, that you've given him the knowledge and the will and the understanding, oh God, to present to other people. Now, God, I speak over his life blessings, oh God.
Yes.
Tenfold, oh God. I speak right now that every door that needs to be opened, that his new business that he's getting started, Lord God, I speak life into it right now.
Yes.
Put people in his path that he needs to know to help him fulfill the destiny, oh God, that you have over his life. And God, we're going to thank you in advance. We thank you for our listeners, oh God. We thank you for Gary and his family, oh God. I thank you for myself and my children, oh God. In the name of Jesus, open up our hearts and minds to receive. As we go into next week, oh God, watch over us, cover us, oh God. The blood still works. And for that, we say thank you. It's in your son, Jesus' name that we pray. Amen. You're listening to Morning Coffee with the Word. I'm Dr. J.
And I'm the president. We'll see you next week here. Next Saturday at 10 a.m. for Financial Literacy Month. Please share. If you got some information out of this, please share with your friends. We love you, Dr. J. I love you.
I love you,
next
Gary.
week. Bye-bye.
Love you, D-Rep. Bye-bye.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's do it. If you know you got favor on your life, sing it.
I'm God, and I love it. The favor of God is all over me.
Yeah.
I'm God, and I love it.
Got it.
The favor of God is all over me. I'm God, and I love it. The favor of God is all over me. I'm God, and I love it.
Favor.
The favor of God is all over me.
And I ain't even asked for this, y'all.
And it ain't my fault.
Hey, yeah. Why you mad at me?
And it ain't my fault.
I want to do that again, A-Ron. Say, I got it. Yeah.
And I love it.
Favor.
The favor of God is all over me. I'm God, and I love it. The favor of God is all over me.
got it.
I'm God, and I love it.
You love it.
The favor of God is all over me. I'm God, and I love it.
God gave it to me. It's all over me. And it ain't even my fault.
And it ain't my fault.
Hey. Yeah. If you know favors on your life, say,
And